Hello YouTube, this is Galway here, and this is a brand new deck profile. This is ABCs, which is a deck I was looking forward to coming out. It's actually a structure deck, which makes it really cheap and budget. Aside from a few cards which are expensive, like the gadgets and strikes, I guess. And it's really, really strong. Like, I mean, this deck is probably going to be the best deck of the format. If not, it's definitely going to be tier 1, without a doubt. It's been really good in the OCG, and of course, the OCG doesn't usually translate to equal the TCG. But I still think it's an okay indicator of how good the deck will be. I mean, if it's tier 1 in the OCG, it's at least going to be relevant, sort of, in the TCG. And looking at the cards and just reading through them, and how consistent this deck is, I think is proof enough of that. But without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, and I hope you guys enjoy it. 3 Thrasher, it's a light warrior, and it doesn't take up your normal summon, which makes it great for making Bujinte Tsukiyomi plays, which are probably one of the best plays you can make with this deck. If you can make Bujinte Tsukiyomi with an okay hand going first, you're good to go. You can make your ABC Dragon Buster and probably win, because that's a really strong board to make going first. It forces your opponent to make awkward plays to play around the Dragon Buster if they don't have a kaiju. And usually you actually diffuse the Dragon Buster in the standby phase, so that you have a lot of monsters on board with back row, and it can be a pain to deal with. So you need 3 of this guy. He accelerates your plays, doesn't use your normal summon, and he's light, which is amazing. Also, he's a road target, and you run the 1 road for him, so you practically run 4 copies. 2 of each gadget. These do take up your normal summon, but they are light for Tsukiyomi, and they're machines for Giggling Text, which is amazing. These cards are fantastic, and they have a lot of uses. I mean, you can chain these together to make some pretty cool plays, and also mid to late game they can also be used, in a grind game or a mirror or something. Very important cards to run, but they can clog at 3 of each, so that's why I run the 2 of each. If I was going to run an extra gadget, I'd run a gold. He's just strictly better on the attack points, which is what you want. And then 3 of each of the A, B, and C. B is by far the best, C is probably the weakest, but you want to run 3 anyways, because you want to see them in your hand for their combo pieces. But you also want to not banish them with Desires. Like, I mean, if Desires wasn't a card, you could probably run 3 of the B and then 2 of the other 2. I'd reckon that would be the best ratios. But Desires is a card, and it's really good in this deck, so you want to run 3 of all of them. It's definitely worth drawing an extra copy of one of these, C or A, if you can also draw a Desires and, get a free +1. So yeah, that's it for the combo monsters. We've also got 2 Max C, which I think is pretty good this format. It's very difficult for your opponent to deal with a board that this deck makes with such a big field. So usually this deck goes like Tsukiyomi, and then it makes Dragon Buster, and then in your opponent's standby phase, to avoid kaijus and to avoid awkward cards like that, you defuse. So you defuse into your 3 pieces, so you have 4 cards on board. It's really difficult for them to deal with that through a Max C. So Max C is probably like one of the best traps. It's effectively a trap in the game if you can make that board going first. And going second, obviously Max C is the only usable card in this deck. No main deck kaijus, I'm not really a fan. But yeah, let's move on to the spells. 3 Union Hanger, and of course 3 Terraforming. This is like really good. This is without this card, like, this deck is really clunky and slow, but this card does exist, and you run 6 copies of it pretty much through these. And you can discard, like, if you draw like 2 Terraforming and a Union Hanger, you can discard them with your Tsukiyomi and draw them 2 anyways. So you get rid of them and you draw fresh cards regardless. But you need to see this, so that's why I run the 6 that I can. The 3 Terra and the 3 copies of the field. So I run 2 Desires. You never want to see the third, like, you never want to resolve a second Desires, but you also never want to see 2 copies of Desires, because it's a dead card then, and it'll end up getting discarded anyways. So you'd rather this be like a trap. So that's why I ran a couple of extra traps. I think I run 7 traps instead of the standard 5 or 6. I think I might run an 8th. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, 2 Desires. I think that's the best ratio for pretty much every deck. Some decks you need to see Desires in. But this I don't feel is one of them. 1 Rhoda, of course, it's an extra photon Thrasher. 1 Foolish Burial, I mean, it's kind of an egg one, but it's also like gets the last A, B, or C on the grave if you need it, and it also can dump important cards. I like this card. It's a good card. That's all I really can say about it. So yeah, 1 Foolish Burial. 1 Upstart Goblin, 39 cards, yay, with Desires. one Regeki. This is like really good in general. I mean, just for outing problems. Against Blue Eyes, it's really good. Even against BAPK, you can like if you can clear their board to make their boards less difficult to get over. This is quite good as well. And the mirror, it's decent. It's not amazing, but I mean in the mirror you can make Rhapsody and then Rhapsody plus this if you can force them to tag out, and then you can banish 2 from the grave, and that's pretty good. 1 out Instant Fusion. I run Northern in the extra, and you also have something in the grave anyway. So, and even if you don't, it's a combo piece. So whatever, that's really good. Like even making Diamond Arrow Wolf just pop back row before you go off is really nice, and it works well with Foolish. 2 Twin out back row. 3 Feld was kind of cloggy. I mean they were on 3 in the OCG, but I opted to just run the 1 or just the 2 because I think 2 is fine. That's it for the spells, and onto the traps. Like I said, I don't know if this is standard. A lot of decks run the anti-spells. I don't like the anti-spells. I think they're average against a lot of decks, and they're bad against a few decks, and then they're really good against things like Pendulum. But this deck has no problem dealing with Pendulum anyways, so yeah. So these are Rafflesia. I actually have a reason for this. This deck has kind of a terrible matchup against Cosmo. Like they really struggle to deal with Dark Destroyer, and things like Forerunner and that kind of stuff. They really struggle to deal with that kind of stuff, and this pretty much kills both of those guys. If you make a Rafflesia, which is really easy to do in this deck, if you make Rafflesia with like Dragon Buster and against Cosmo, you can just win. And also it's great against BA, so these cards are good against a few decks, a few of the harder matchups. So sorry, I run those, 1 of each. And even against decks they're not amazing against, like say they're not amazing against, say, I'm trying to think of a deck they're not amazing against. Maybe the Mirror, whatever. They're still decent, they're still reasonable. They banish stuff, like they can banish the Tsukiyomi or banish a Gadget or whatever, so they're not terrible cards against any particular matchup, so that's why I run them. Then I run the 1 Warning and 3 Strike. This should be standard. You do want to run traps in this deck to protect your board and stop them trampling over you. Also, it's great in the mirror. This card can win the mirror, and 1 Vandy's Emptiness, which can win any matchup. Like this card is literally a win con. So yeah, the idea of the deck is, by the way, is if you make your combo and then you ABC Dragon Buster and then you Desires and you can dig for traps or whatever. So yeah, Desires is really important. And also Max C is pretty much a trap, which is great in the mirror. 3 Dragon Buster, I mean, you never really make the 3rd, but I mean, it's good actually if you're running, well, if you're running Winter Cherries, it doesn't matter, you can just run the 2 copies anyways. But you never really make the 3rd, but in case you do, you can technically, so why not? 1 Gigandex, 1 Tsukiyomi, these are fine. You only ever really make Tsukiyomi when your turn 1 play. You could make it after and it would still be good, but at that point you kind of just want to be putting up stronger exceeds, and Gigandex of course is really strong. 1 Rafflesia, like I said, these are really good for going first, and then Emerald, Diamond Wolf, Castell, Dweller, they're just 2 box rank 4s. They're all really good actually. This extra isn't really that tight, but you can't like run silly cards, so yeah. 1 Rhapsody, this is actually really good in the mirror. Like this card is actually good. I've had this card for the longest time just in extra decks because I liked it, but now I can actually run it in an extra deck and have it be a really good card. So 1 Rhapsody, 1 Norden because I'm running Instant Fusion, Utopia package. This is just a standard Utopia, but I don't have it yet. I don't actually own a standard Utopia, would you believe that? And this is a Steel Swarm Roach, which is really good in the mirror. So this is a standard Utopia and this is a Steel Swarm Roach, and that would be it for the 15 card extra deck and 40 card main deck. I don't have a side deck yet, mainly because I'm actually, for my next regional, which is in 3 days time, I'm actually playing DDDs, and that side deck is completely different than the ABC side deck would be. So no side deck for this deck, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you guys learned something from the deck profile. This is a really fun deck. It's quite cheap, other than the Desires. Even if you don't run Desires, it's still really good. So yeah guys, what do you guys think about this new deck? Do you think it's going to be the best deck? Do you think it's going to be the flop of the TCG? Do you think it's not going to do well here at all? Like Star Seraphs never did well here. They did great in the OCG and got limited there. Do you think it's going to be the same deal with the ABCs? Or do you think that maybe they will just be the best deck and they'll be the new Monarchs or the new Necros or something like that? Either way, I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile, and thank you very much for watching. I appreciate the support, and goodbye.